All activities of the nature are automatic and selfless. There is no almighty self, an individual self, to be found behind the universe, activating the universe, activating the nature, controlling the activities of the nature. That is the basic nature of the nature. However, it is evident that all these selfless, automatic activities of the nature are for the benefit of all beings, both animate and inanimate. For example, for all animals, including human beings, as well as all plants. Furthermore, for the entire earth and for all the planets. The activities of the universe, the activities of the nature is automatic but benevolent. That is why the nature is called Mother Nature, because the nature shows the basic nature of all mothers. Mothers are benevolent. They are loving their children. And we all are children of the universe, children of the nature, because we all are created by the nature. And it's evident we too have to be natural, following the nature of the nature. The basic nature of the nature, as I mentioned earlier, is benevolent. That is why St. John's Bible says, God is love. God is an almighty being, an almighty being, believed to be a personal, individual, activating the nature. But nobody has found such a being, such an almighty being. But all theistic religions identify the nature as an activity of an almighty being. In Christianity, that being is called Almighty God. In Judaism, Jehovah. In Islam, Allah. In Hinduism, Mahabrahma or Brahman. But there is no almighty being in Buddhism and also in Jainism. Nature and its nature means to be impersonal and automatic. But the nature, the activities of the nature follow some rules, laws that are discovered by the modern science as laws of nature or rules of nature. For example, gravity is a law of nature. The earth takes 24 hours to rotate round itself. But that's a law of nature. At the same time, even though I said nature is benevolent, sometimes it appears that nature is malevolent. For example, the coronavirus or the pandemic that has covered the entire world is malvolent. But that malvolence, the apparent malevolence, is an aspect of the motherly nature. Even mothers, even though they love their children, their offsprings, they punish them to direct in the correct path, to prevent them doing wrongs. Similarly, nature has punished the world, the human beings that violated the nature of the nature. The nature of the nature, I said, is benevolent and selfless. But human beings have become selfish. The nature of the nature, as I mentioned, is actuated for the benefit of all beings. But human beings have violated the nature of their mother nature by destroying the nature. Through its technology and scientific inventions. The atmosphere in the earth has been very badly polluted by what human beings emanate from their factories, from their vehicles, from their aeroplanes and jets, from their ships. Thus, the earth and its atmosphere has got polluted by the vicious nature of human beings. Therefore, the benevolent or malevolent aspect of the universe, the apparent malevolent aspect of the universe, is a punishment given to beings those beings who have violated the divine nature of the nature. Nature is called divine. In fact, In Hinduism, there are many gods depicting or representing different aspects of nature. In Hinduism, even sun and moon are gods. In fact, everything is a god in Hinduism. Even wind is a god, rain is a god. That means Hinduism deals with the divine nature of the divine, nature of the nature. As I mentioned earlier, we all are created by nature. Therefore, we are inherently endowed with a divine nature. Though we term to be devils through selfishness. In such an event, the nature punishes us. And the good example is the coronavirus pandemic that has killed millions and millions human beings in different countries. Even though the nature is going to teach us a lesson, still the human beings have not learned that lesson properly. To prevent the pollution of the worldly atmosphere, to destroy the natural creations, forests and wild animals, for the benefit of the human beings. The nature punishes human beings for that. Direct them to be natural. Naturalization. In fact, Buddhism is a science of being naturalized. A science of being a part and parcel of the nature in our spirit. The spirit of the nature is to be benevolent, love. As I mentioned earlier, that is why St. John's Bible says God is love. Nature is love. As I mentioned earlier, nature is called Mother Nature. Not only because the nature has created all of us, but also look after all of us. It is the nature that cures our diseases. Although it creates diseases when we go against nature, go against the nature of nature. In these circumstances, we had to go deep into the pandemic of coronavirus to find ways and means to avoid such disasters. The only means of avoiding such disasters should be to be natural, to be benevolent, to be unselfish. In fact, no activity of the nature is selfish because there is no self behind the nature. Even though we think that we too have an individual self, there is no self to be found anywhere in our mind or in our body. Both our mind and body are subject to the laws of nature. Therefore, nature teaches us to be benevolent, to be unselfish. That means to be selfless in our activities for the good of others. If we break this law of nature, we are doomed to suffer. The good example is the coronavirus pandemic that engulfed the entire universe with the beginning of the year 2020. That too has become blessing in disguise, because the year 2020 has become a turning point in the human civilization, which has been a material civilization and now turning to be spiritual. In this aspect, Sri Lanka, that has been a spiritual country for more than 26 centuries with the coming of the Buddha, has become the center of spirituality in the world. The center of spiritualism, while United States, that lie quite opposite of Sri Lanka in the globe, became the center of the modern material culture and material civilization, modern materialism. Now, USA has learned a lesson with the corona pandemic that used to kill more than 2,500 human beings every day. It seems one day, maybe slowly, all human beings will learn the lesson taught by the pandemic virus with the beginning of the year 2020, so that it is destined to be a turning point in the world history, making a revolution, turning the materialist civilization into a spiritual civilization that is destined to make Sri Lanka the center of the next material civilization that should come after the year 2020.